The Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. I'm your host, Trage, as we come back here for hour number 2 of the show here tonight. I hope you guys are enjoying your Wednesday. And this next segment is brought to you by Badger Tree Care, the local tree care company. They do tree removal, tree trimming, pruning, full cleanup, small lot clearing, storm cleanup. They do it all. Call Trevor down there, 715-937-3276. Call Trevor at Badger Tree Care. He does fantastic work. Check out the Facebook page. You can see it. There's 1 second there's a tree, the next second it's like it was never there. Like that is as good a work as what they do. It's like boom, tree gone. There, nothing. Like it's just it's like they were never there. It's like poof. I don't know how they do it, but he's fantastic. Check him out there. If you have a tree you need cleaned up here during this winter, call him up. Trevor Bart there at Badger Tree Care. So Ummer is back here. We're starting out hour number 2 here. We're going to talk a little bit more Packers here. And Ummer, well, we kind of talked about the injured reserve and the guys coming back right before the break there. We know Reed is definitely going to come back in. We'll see what happens with the rest of it. Colin Oliver, we're both kind of in the consensus. He's probably going to be like a red shirt kind of guy for the year just because he hasn't really had a practice yet with the Green Bay Packers. Lloyd, it's question mark. We can see a skill set definitely benefiting this team. Finally, they finally found him, and now he can play football again. So we'll see what kind of happens with Lloyd there. And then Brenton Cox has been fantastic when he's been available. So we'll see what they do, especially with the injury to this guy, Devontae Wyatt. This is a massive injury to the Packers because what Devontae Wyatt, we saw what he was able to do there against the Lions when the play that he got hurt was the play he actually opened up a gap for Micah Parsons to come through and whack Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Like it was on that play where he opened up that hole. And that's what he's been doing this year. And he's been really good in the run game too for this team. Yeah. So, I mean, how much in your opinion does that Devontae Wyatt injury hurt his team? It sucks because this is his contract year. And he was finally coming into it where it was like, this is the guy that they drafted. This is the guy that they're hoping he would become. And bam, there it is. It just sucks. So how much does this injury hurt the Packers? Do they have the guys in-house that can figure this thing out? Because that's a huge loss to a position group that actually had me nervous about the depth already. Now you lose Devontae Wyatt. Now I'm even more nervous. What do you think?
I mean, honestly, I think they're going to have to figure it out, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's a devastating loss. Our defense did take a hit with him being out for those 2-3 weeks that he was out. And they're going to hopefully that the reps that Brinson, Stackhouse have gotten, Carl Brooks have gotten, Woolen has gotten, those guys are going to need to really step up and really try their best to – none of them will be as impactful as Wyatt. Maybe they will be. I don't think so. But the fact is that they're going to have to figure out a way to try their best to fill really, really big shoes. You know what I'm saying? Because for Devontae Wyatt, the biggest thing about him is he's 305 pounds, runs like a 4.87, but his explosion off the line, he was what everybody thought Jarrell Worthy and what was that defensive lineman that the Packers drafted years ago who was really great in college, but he was terrible in the NFL.
Oh, yes.
It's an old one, but basically what I'm saying is that was the kind of dude he is. He basically lived up to the hype when it comes to his explosion. And so I feel like you're going to really have to hope that the Packers on offense can get these teams one-dimensional.
Yeah.
Right? Because, if we can get the lead and keep the lead and then really just, get them out of their run game, I think we have a good shot of not trying to find a way to minimize Wyatt not being there.
The team that really worries me is actually the Bears. Because if you can't get out to the big lead against the Bears, they want to run the football. Throwing the football, even Ben Johnson has kind of alluded to it. It's still a nervous thing for him. I mean, we've seen Caleb Williams. That's his one problem is that he can make good throws and then he can also make some really bad ones in between there. So they want to be able to run the football. If you, like you said, get out to that lead, be able to make them have to become one-dimensional, you change the game. But that's also getting out to that big lead and changing the game. And trying to avoid them attacking your defensive tackles. Now, Lucas Van Ness injury definitely hurts there too, because you had him earlier on in the year filling into that center. Now he's been banged up. That foot's still giving him problems. I don't know when he's going to be back. It sounds like he's not close to it. It really sounds like he's not even close at times here. Because now they're talking about injured reserve. So it doesn't sound like he's close. So you're going to rely on everyone else in house at this point here to try and figure it out. And I think it's going to become a lot on this guy who hasn't lived up to the hype this year, Rashawn Gary. Now, I don't want to say Rashawn Gary has had a better year this year. I'm not
Yeah.
like statistics wise, he's had a better year.
Right.
But for the contract that he has, I feel like it should be a lot better.
Yeah.
Especially now that Micah Parsons, because last year, what did we say was the problem with Rashawn Gary last year? He was being double teamed because there was nobody else on the opposite side, right? So he was being double teamed. There was nobody else to get him open. So that was the problem. Now you have Micah Parsons. So the double team, triple teams, everything are going to Micah's side.
Well,
John Gary should be cleaning house now. He's got one-on-one. Well, he's not winning the one-on-ones.
Yeah.
That's a worry, right? In my opinion, I mean, you're talking, this is his contract year, I thought, for Rashawn Gary right now. I think this is the end of his contract. Pretty darn sure at the end of his contract, isn't it?
No, he has one more year, I think, but they can get out of it if they want to.
Option year, maybe?
Yeah, it's one of
It
those
might
like
be an option.
they normally do those 4-year deals with the first 2 years are guaranteed, and after that, the last 2 years they can basically get out of the contract if they want to.
Yes, so they have a potential out was in 2025.
Yeah.
Yeah, the contract just continues to grow. Goodness, that thing just continues to grow. So most likely Rashawn Gary won't be back next year. That's probably how it's going to get played out here. But I mean, he hasn't lived up to the hype, in my opinion. What do you think, Umber? Has he lived up to the hype this year? Because I expected so much more, especially when we said that Micah Parsons was coming in. I was like, wow, Rashawn Gary's going to have a year for himself. He's been better, but not exactly to the point where I thought he'd get.
I mean, I think Rashawn has definitely performed what you'd want him to do. He's probably one of the top 10, if not top 5 run defenders in the league. When coming out of Michigan, that was what his calling card was. He wasn't a pass rusher. He was a run stuffer. He was an athletic freak who could run, who could basically play all up and down the line. I mean, when he was drafted, he was a defensive lineman, right? And then defensive lineman, defensive end, defensive tackle, and then he basically lost a little weight and then got to become a pass rusher. Now, yeah, would I love to see him have like a, for every time that Parsons has like a double or triple team, he's winning his one-on-ones. Oh, I would love that. But again, I feel like the way I heard some of the guys were saying was like, if he's out there busting his butt, Jeff Hafley said this, he's busting his butt, he's expending a lot of energy and just trying to stop the run and make those kinds of plays. When it comes time for those pass rushing plays, he doesn't have it. That's why his snaps are down. Maybe not to say that his conditioning is bad, but just that if he's, because when you got a guy like Parsons out there, I mean, it's hard to say because Parsons literally is out there for every single play. He's playing like 90% of the snaps, right?
Right.
When it comes to Rashawn Gary, I feel like they are cutting back his snaps because of that, and other guys are stepping up too. Yep. Like I was saying, like Ian Barre has been killing it, and I definitely feel like if Brenton Cox gets picked back up, that guy could do everything, I agree with you. Will we want more from Rashawn Gary? Absolutely. I still think he's doing pretty well. I think he's still going to hit 10 to 12 sacks this year. But I'm not going to hate on him. I just think that since they've gotten Parsons, I feel like his role has changed. I don't think he's out there trying to be like, when we had, if you remember back in the day when we had like Kyle Fackrell and Clay Matthews, right? And Clay Matthews gained double, triple team. And then, Fackrell would have like a 10-sack game, and we're happy, 10-sack season. We're really happy about that, right?
Yeah.
But again, you think about it, Fackrell was like a 4th-round pick, and Rashawn Gary is a top 10 first-round or top 12 first-round pick. So I'm with you, 100%.
Yeah. No, 100%. I agree. It's just, I guess, when you bring in a guy like Parsons, we talked about last year, the problem with Rashawn Gary was his inability to win in, when you're getting double teamed, it's hard, but his inability there. So now when the double team's focused somewhere else, it's just that expectation. Okay, now you're one-on-one. We need you to win it, especially you give him the money that you did. You expect him to be able to win those one-on-ones, and we just haven't seen it at high of a clip. But like you said, I mean, it's in the run game. It's in everything. So he's got his role. I guess we want to see that next step. We want to see that next level. Yeah, we want to see the more, because when you have 2 dominant guys on the edges, that's a scary defense. That's a scary defense to go against there. So I guess we're just expecting to see a lot. We want to see more, and that should not be a crazy thought there to see more there. So, Amr, I got to run here. Let the people know quick where to find you out there across social media.
Oh, find me at AMAR3455, Coast to Coast Packers, all up and down social media, Twitter, X, Instagram, the whole 9 yards. And come check us out on all those social media platforms.
Make sure you guys are checking him out. He'll be back here. We're going to talk Saturday. We have some Packer talk to get to on Saturday here. We're going to preview the Bears game coming up on Saturday. So make sure you guys are stopping by Saturday between 10 and 11. I don't know when Elmer will be on, but somewhere in there. We're going to have him back here. We're going to talk some Packers and Bears coming up Saturday here on the show. So when we come back from the break here, Kyle's going to stop by. We have some NFL talk to get to, college football, all that stuff in between. So we'll come back here. Kyle's going to be here when we get back from the break. We'll be right back into Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. I'm your host, Trage, as we come back here on this Wednesday. And hey, this next segment here, Kyle's stopping by. We're going to talk a little NFL talk. We have power rankings there. We got the Lane Kiffin situation that we wanted to get into. We have a whole slug of things to get into in the national sporting news. Before we get there, though, this next segment is brought to you by Sport and Spine Clinic of Greenwood, Wisconsin. Expert traditional physical therapy and structural integration programming. Call for flexible scheduling and evaluations. Just call Chad down there at Sport and Spine Clinic of Greenwood. He'll get you right, feeling better than ever. Sport and Spine Clinic of Greenwood, Wisconsin there. So Kyle is here tonight. Kyle, how we doing? It's Wednesday. Hopefully you're doing better than I am. I am, well, not sick. The voice is just going. It's rough. You can tell. Kyle, how are you doing on this Wednesday?
No, I'm doing well. Look, the team's on a bye, so I don't have a whole week to think about who they're playing to win or not. Coming off a big win, I'm loving it right now.
Kyle's doing good. The Patriots just continuously beat up teams, and it's impressive. It is mightily impressive what we've seen out of the Patriots this year. So, Kyle, we have to get into it right away before we get over to that NFL talk, college football talk. We have to do our Mellow Yellow Minute, the trivia portion of the show, in honor of my grandpa. He loved Mellow Yellow. He loved trivia. We do. It's the Mellow Yellow Minute. So, coming off Thanksgiving, coming off of Black Friday, we said to ourselves, well, what are we going to do for a trivia question for the day? So we were looking up Black Friday deals. That was a hole. We couldn't find anything over there. We were like, okay, well, what if we did the top 5 popular dates to put up your Christmas decor? Because this is always a big question mark. Do you put it up before Thanksgiving, after Thanksgiving? So I compiled a list. Here is the list that came up when I was searching up dates that people put up their holiday decorations for Christmas. So Kyle, are you ready to guess the top 5?
Yes.
All right. So we have the day after Thanksgiving. We have the first day of Advent, which is this. Well, technically, it's going to be November 30th, I believe there. So that'll be the first day. We have December 1st. We have November 1st. Or we have the first weekend in November.
Okay. Okay, so this is definitely an interesting one. So I think 5, I will go with. I'll go November 1st.
Number 5 is not November 1st.
Okay. That seems early.
It's going to be weird. It's going to be a weird one where that lands.
Okay. Is it the first weekend of November?
It is not. It is not the first weekend of November either. That is not number 5. Number 5 is going to confuse you.
The only one that probably would confuse me is December 1st.
December 1st is number 5.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. But I think I kind of see where this is going. So then 4, I will go. Is November 1st number 4?
It is not. Imagine this whole list is backwards, Kyle. Just imagine the whole list is backwards. That's
I didn't want to go that way, but not because I feel like 1 does seem okay. Oh man. November 30th.
November 30th. So the first day of Advent, as they call it, November 30th. That'll be the number 4 on the list. So you have November 1st, the day after Thanksgiving, and the first weekend in November left on the list.
So number 3.
This one's tough.
I will go the day after Thanksgiving.
Day after Thanksgiving, Kyle. I'm telling you, just the list is backwards to what you think it actually should be.
Yes. 2, I will go November 1st.
It is November 1st. Number 1 is the first weekend in November. So people are putting up their holiday decor from 1 to 5. The first weekend in November. November 1st is 2nd. The day after Thanksgiving is 3rd. The first day of Advent, which is November 30th. That comes down to number 4. And then December 1st is number 5 on that list. The list is backwards, man. That's all I know. The list is backwards. I drive. I'm like, I love that you guys are getting in the holiday spirit when it's November's like 15th. I don't need to see your Christmas lights on. Like, I don't need to see Santa Claus out front there. He ain't in town yet. So yeah, just so there you go. There's the Mellow Yellow Minute for the day there. So Kyle, we got to get over. Where should we start? College football, or should we start with the NFL? Where do you want to start?
Let's start college football.
Let's start college football. Let's start with the biggest. We're not here to really talk about the whole grand scheme of things. Let's talk about this Lane Kiffin situation, because this is the thing that affects all of college football. So Lane Kiffin, over the weekend, he finally made his decision. He is going to go to LSU. Leave Ole Miss, go to LSU. Now, Lane still wants to coach Ole Miss. Well, the AD said, no. That ain't happening. You ain't coaching here anymore. You left. I don't know, Kyle. Am I petty if I say that I agree with the AD? Like, get out. You don't want to be here. You took another job. I mean, Scott Van Pelt said it the best. He's like, you imagine you're a wife at home, and your husband says, I'm going to go with the neighbor. I'm going to go to the neighbor and, be with them for now. But I'm going to stay until Christmas for the kids. No. Like, you're leaving. Like, go. Get out. Like, I don't want you here anymore. That's where I'm kind of at. It's like, you left. Now I get you. Now I get the whole grand scheme of things. We're going to talk about that in a second. But do you believe that Lane Kiffin should they allow him to coach Ole Miss the rest of the year?
So I think, like, if you're a player on the team, you probably would have wanted Lane to coach because you're going to the playoff, and hey, why not go out possibly winning a championship? But yeah, if I'm the AD, you've already taken another job. I don't want you hanging around to where now maybe you're getting in players' ears like, hey, try to get out of here. Come on over to LSU. I'll take care of you. And coaches as well. I do know that I believe his OC or whatever is going to be allowed to coach at Ole Miss or something like that. I guess that's something they worked out. But yeah, I have no problem with the AD saying, like, we're good. We'll start our process of life without you now. Even though I always hate seeing coaches leave as a team is going to a playoff, especially kind of the leaps and bounds that Ole Miss has made under Lane Kiffin, but that's college football for you.
Let's just start there. This is the problem that college football has created, right? Because the early signing period is opened up today. As we're talking, we're pre-recorded, so we didn't get to talk about the early signing period today, but it opened up today. Mm-hmm. So they have from today until the 5th to have that signing done. That's what college teams are building themselves off of, especially the early signing period. So you have to be in place. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to go to LSU after the playoff because, well, I got to get to LSU because I have to sign these guys. That's where your problem comes in. So the college football has caused this problem because they don't have – I don't get why. I don't understand why they can't figure this one out. It seems real simple. Push everything back till the playoffs done, till everything's done, push it back. Open up the signing period after the playoffs done. Let the coaches migrate after the playoffs done. Open up the transfer portal after the playoffs done. Mm-hmm. Good. But you're in the middle of conference championship week, and you have the early signing period? Really? Like, you shouldn't have to worry. And I know everything now is recruiting and transfers and everything now around the landscape, but you shouldn't have to, if you're a head coach, be worrying about retaining guys and everything right now. Because we saw last year, like Bo Perbula there with Penn State, he had to leave in the middle of the playoff because, well, he had to transfer out. They knew he wasn't going to play the next year, so he had to transfer out. Well, we see what happened there then. You have bad blood between guys. You don't know what, fans get upset. Well, the NCAA has to fix this. Mm-hmm. And I mean, is it really that hard? Like, I don't understand why it seems like this is an impossible task to fix when you could fix it, within a day. Say, here, this is what's going to happen. Signing period is going to happen this day. And then we're going to have transfer portal. Then the coaches can leave before that. Whatever. Have the coaches leave. They get a week. Then after that, the signing period happens. After that, we have that. Why do we have 2 signing period windows? Why? I don't care. We don't need 2. Like, why is there one in right now, and then you have one in February? I don't need 2. Give me one in February. Give me the transfer portal opening up before that, so you can have your transfers come in. You can have your signing period all at the same time. Get all that done. Give the coaches time to leave. It's simple, isn't it, Kyle?
I mean, it seems like it, but we know with the NCAA, nothing is simple. And just speaking of like transfer portal and all that, that's also the tricky part with a lot of this is obviously with Lane leaving, the comfort zone for him will be the kids he was recruiting to Ole Miss, he'll now just try to flip them to LSU now. So
Right.
now, obviously, whoever Ole Miss picks up as their next coach will be a little behind unless they kind of do the same thing where they're leaving a program and flipping some of the recruits who were coming with them over to Ole Miss. Like, it creates such a messy environment that I feel like you just feel that there is a simple solution to this, but you almost kind of think the NCAA loves this. They're part of the news cycle, even though the college football playoff should be enough for them, but this Lane Kiffin story has been a big deal.
Yep.
And they're attention is always something that these leagues and everything that strive for. So I doubt they change anything, but I agree with you. It should be very simple how to do their calendar.
Yeah, like what does Ole Miss do now? I mean, I would have basically, if you thought that he was going to he's going to leave, you should have fired him weeks ago. I mean, just said, walk out the door, man. We want your decision tomorrow, before the Egg Bowl, everything like that. Like, because now Ole Miss is in the same spot that LSU is going to be. And Penn State doesn't know what they're doing up there. That seems baffling that they haven't found a head coach up there yet. They've been in talks with BYU's coach, but they haven't figured out staffing or a contract or anything. They haven't told tomorrow. Like, Ole Miss has until tomorrow to say, okay, is the OC just going to step up and be the head coach of this team? Like, is that how we're going to recruit guys in? How's this going to work? Because now you're recruiting guys to an empty program with you don't know if the staff's going to be back. Like, is the new head coach that comes in, is he going to keep the staff? I don't know. Like, it's such a weird, like you're saying, it's just disorganized. And now Lane Kiffin's left this hole. He goes to LSU. Okay, good for LSU. But now Ole Miss is like, oh, well, what do we do now? So, like, it's just a mess. It is an absolute mess. So Lane Kiffin and the analysts that are complaining about it, just stop it. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Yeah. Nobody thinks he should be coaching this team. Ole Miss fans, Ole Miss doesn't like LSU.
Right.
So I don't know why you would think that they want a guy who's going to go coach for the rival to finish coaching their team. They're done with you. They're done. Mm-hmm. You left. You went to a rival. You went to an SEC school rival. We're done with you. Bye. It's not like a promotion. Like when coaches are being promoted, like I believe, Tulane's coach is going to go. Is he going to Florida? He's going to be promoted. Like they're good with it. They're like, okay, you're getting promoted. Like we're not going to like penalize you for that. Lane Kiffin's like going lateral. LSU is a historic program, but right now, as you look at it, they're lateral to Ole Miss. Excuse me, they're going to see my voice is just going. They're lateral to Ole Miss there. So, I mean, it is just a mess around college football, and it's going to continue to be a mess until the NCAA steps in and does something there. So, Kyle, we got to get to the NFL power rankings. We got to hop over there. So, I mean, this last week, Thanksgiving, some good games there. The Bears pull off a win against the Eagles. That blew my mind on Friday there. The Eagles are so dysfunctional. It's not even funny at this point. Yep. And then the AFC picture, the Patriots just continuously put the shellacking on teams as we're seeing right now. I mean, Kyle, let's go to the power rankings here. Who do you got? NFC top 5 for this week.
All right. So I'm actually going to start at number 5 with the Bears. I know a lot of people look at the Bears. They're 9-3. They're leading the conference and everything. But I do think Ben Johnson kind of let us know that the passing game just isn't there. And we've seen it. We saw, Caleb short hopping some throws, and I feel like I had to bump them down for that. But look, the running game is strong, and I do think they have that identity where they can probably try to bully people in January, and it may work against some teams, but I have them at 5. 4, I think this team has been quiet. I'm going with the 49ers.
Oh, like that.
They've had injuries all over the place, and they just keep winning. So I have them at 4, even though they have their own issues. Purdy has been a little off and on since he's come back into the lineup. Mac Jones looked really good in his time in there. And they are kind of a bit too CMC centric, but I'm going to give them respect and give them 4. 3, I'm putting the Packers. And I think they're another team that, like a couple of weeks ago, it seemed like people kind of tossed aside, but they're getting guys back. I believe Jaden Reed's on his way back.
Yep.
And, once he gets back in there, That's another option for Jordan Love. And this is usually the time of the year where Jordan Love really takes his game to another level. So I think that they're going to be a team to watch here down the stretch. And look, I wouldn't be surprised if they win the NFC North and probably maybe a top seed in the NFC going into the playoffs. Look, imagine if they were a number 1 seed and all roads led through Lambeau Field. That could be interesting. 2, I'm going to go with the Rams. Rams are a really good team. Matt Stafford had a bad game against the Panthers and, turned the ball over a little bit, obviously more than he normally would. Defensively, I like their defensive front. On the back end is a little questionable, but I still think they're a really good team. And then I'm going with the Seahawks because, look, even with last week where they had the turnovers against the Rams and they almost won that, then this week they didn't look great, but they shut out, the opponent, even in a game where they brought their B- game. I think they're a team that could be very dangerous as well. Look, that's another atmosphere. If you had to go there in the playoffs, tough place to play out in Seattle.
Right. No, I like that list. 1 and 2, you could probably flip either way you wanted to. The Bears, I agree. It's if they go into Lambeau and knock on wood, win that game. We're talking about We're talking about the Bears different. They beat the Eagles, a dysfunctional team, like we said before. Now it's still a good win. I credit them the win.
Yeah.
I credit them the win. It was a good win, very good win on the road. Now it's about, can you go to Lambeau and beat them? That's going to be the big question mark for me because you got 2 games against the Packers here in 3 weeks. So it's going to be an interesting stretch there for that NFC North. But I completely agree with your list outside of that. The NFC West is like reverse NFC South, like actually good and close, not terrible and close like we see down there. So AFC picture, Kyle, top 5. This one's a little bit ugly. There's some ugly ones in here. What do you got AFC top 5?
5, I'm going with the Chargers. Don't feel necessarily great about it, especially with the broken bone in the non-throwing hand for Justin Herbert, but that's going to be something to watch. 4, I have the Bills. The Bills are a team I feel like are trying to find themselves again with some of the momentum they had early in the year, and then they lost it there with some questionable losses against the Falcons and teams like that. They have a big game, obviously, coming against the Patriots in a couple of weeks. 3, I'm going with the Texans. I know they're 3rd in the AFC South right now, but I feel like they are playing the best football right now, and I would not be surprised if they ended up winning that division. That defense is relentless, and as long as C.J. Stroud doesn't turn the ball over, they'll be fine. 2, I'm going with the Broncos. They love living on the edge, but there is something to say about a team that consistently wins 1-score games. It's a heart attack waiting to happen, but a lot of playoff games are tightly contested, and they will be proven in those moments. And that defense as well, pretty good. 1, I'm going with the Patriots. I know people talk about their schedule and everything, but they have faced 5 of the top 10 pass defenses this season, have performed well against them. Drake May's taking his game up. And if you watch that Giants game, probably more so than previous seasons, that defense is now fast and hits hard. Belichick's defense has usually had some slow guys who are kind of fundamentally sound. This Patriots defense just rallies to the ball and just looks to knock guys out. So love what I'm seeing from them. I have them at number 1 this week.
I have no problems with that list, to be honest with you. The Patriots, the difference is you look at the schedule, you can argue the schedule, but you can also say, look at how they've performed in those games. Look at the eye test. And the eye test tells me that's a darn good football team. Maybe not fully battle tested, you might be able to argue, but they're going to take their scars against some teams, but they have looked very good. So I will completely agree with that list there quick. So Kyle, we got to quick get into our pick 'em before I got to let you go here. Let's go. Kyle, I think you won again last week. So you know what? I'm going to go first this week.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure you won again. So I'm going to try to pick some games before you here. So I'm going to go with a dangerous one. Cowboys, Lions, both fighting for their lives. Give me the Lions on a longer rest. The Lions will have a longer rest coming off Thanksgiving to there. Wait, both of them did, didn't they? Yeah, both of them have a long rest there coming into that one. So, I'm going to go Both on long rest, Thursday to Thursday, but give me the Lions to win that one.
All right. I'm gonna start off bold as well. Give me the Texans over the Chiefs Sunday night.
Ooh, I like that one. Basically, if the Chiefs lose that game, they might be out of it.
At that point, yeah.
Yep, I agree with that one there. This is going to be an interesting one on Monday night. Chargers, Eagles. Eagles, they lose another one. This is getting scary times for them, especially if the Cowboys beat the Lions on Thursday night. Give me the Chargers to win that game. Give me the Chargers. I think this Eagles team, I think there's good teams that miss the playoffs every once in a while. This might be a team that missed the playoffs because they're just that dysfunctional. Give me the Chargers.
Okay. I'm going to go Ravens over the Steelers in an ugly game. Both teams have a lot of issues right now, but the Steelers seem like they have a lot of internal issues where Rodgers is deflecting. They have guys asking for release. They just it's a lot going on. So give me the Ravens over the Steelers.
Jaguars, Colts. Give me the Jags. Colts are in a free fall right now. They don't. Daniel Jones is broken. They don't know what to do. Give me the Jags to win that one there to keep pace with the Texans there at the top.
Okay. Let's see. Final one. I will go with. I guess it's kind of an easy one, but I'll take the Broncos over the Raiders.
Broncos over Raiders. There we go.
They'll make look way too interesting, but I feel like the Broncos get it done again.
There you go. So, Kyle, thank you as always for stopping by tonight. Let the people know where to find you out there across social media.
Yeah, so I guess Facebook, YouTube, Chomp at the Bit, easiest way to find me. All the other social links will be in my profiles on those two. That's the best way to find me.
Make sure you guys are checking him out. He's got fantastic stuff there across social media. He's going to be talking about these NFL. He's got NBA talk going on, college football. He's got everything. He talks about everything there at Chomping at the Bit podcast. Make sure you guys are checking him out. We'll be right back after the commercial break. The new fellas, the Wisco Fanatics fellas, are stopping by here next here on the show. So we'll be right back here on Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. I'm your host, Trage, as we come back here on this Wednesday. And hey, this next segment is brought to you by Foreman's Hardware. They offer you everything from home essentials to farm supplies, house to farm, grills to drills. Foreman's Hardware has got you covered. Visit today in Loyal, Colby, or Medford, Wisconsin. Tell them I sent you down there. Tell them Trade sent you. Get 5% off your purchase. Nothing better. Get down to Foreman's there and check them out. We have a brand new guest. I told you guys at the top of the show. I said we have a brand new guest hopping on tonight. They are from the Wisco Fanatics. So I'll start right away. Tyler, we'll start with you, and then we'll go to Jake, or Jake to Tyler. Either way, whoever wants to start, introduce yourself. Let the people know who you are and about how you guys got your start. Because, I love your guys' page and your shows and everything like that. So let them know how you got your start.
Yeah, so I'm Tyler. I'm the host of Wisco Fanatics. Our show started basically as growing up and watching SportsCenter all day, every day, and wanting to have our own Wisconsin sports version of that. And that's what we've done with Wisco Fanatics.
Yeah, so I'm Jake. I ride in the sidecar. Tyler does most of the heavy lifting, but I bring the comic relief, is like I like to tell everybody all the time. So I have some smart things to say as well, but Tyler says most of the smart things. But we like to have fun. We like to talk sports, and we're just guys being dudes.
You got to have the comedy side. If you don't have the comedy side, you're nothing. You got to have that little bit of spice in there. If it was just informational, Bill Michaels wouldn't have a job. He's got to bring that spice every day to us a little bit there. So I'm glad to have these guys because they're awesome. They're going to be on for Bucks Talk here. They're going to be my Bucks. I think they phrased it as Bucks correspondents, which I was like, yeah, that's a big word. I did not think about that one. I had to pull out my thesaurus and think of 14 other words to go along with that one there. But happy to have these guys on here tonight. And they're going to be a part of the Foreman's Hardware Who Has to Bring the Tools to an upcoming matchup here, because we got a lot of big ones. The Badgers, they're coming off a rough showing against TCU. They're going to be taking on Northwestern. We got that coming up. We got the Packers, Bears. That's going to be an exciting one. Badger football, sadly, is done. I don't know if that's sad either way, so we have nothing to go with in there. And then we got the Bucks. The Bucks have some good matchups coming up here. So let's start right away. Okay, we're starting with Jake, right? Jake?
Yes, sir.
Who is your guy who has to bring the tools to an upcoming matchup here?
Well, I would say the guy that has to bring the tools is obviously Miles Turner. I think that's obvious for me. Now, you think of the Bucks, the first name you think of is Giannis Antetokounmpo. Rightfully so, right? He's everything for the Bucks. And then Kevin Porter Jr. returned the other day. he's been very good in the short stints that he's played this season. First quarter of the first game on October 22nd, and obviously the last game that they played, he was very good. The Bucks were elite on both ends of the court when he was back. The guy who's kind of the third wheel, who I think people have too high of expectations for, and also a little bit underappreciated in things that he does. He spaces the floor really well. He is a really good screen setter, floor spacer, like I said, and he plays elite defense. It's a different style of defense, but it's still a very good form of defense. So I think it's Miles Turner who's going to be the guy that takes his game and this team to the next level.
I love that one. I know we're going to talk about him coming up here in the Bucks segment, but I love that one there. Tyler, who do you got for me? Who's got to bring the tools to an upcoming matchup for you?
So I didn't go necessarily a specific guy to bring a tool, but I brought a specific tool that I want all of the guys to bring.
Ooh.
And it's for all of the guys in the Milwaukee Bucks to bring a winning mentality. So starting with this week and extending through all of December, I look at the 13 games the Bucks have on the December slate, and obviously they can win all of them, but realistically, if they're locked in, I believe the Bucks can go 11-2 in December.
100%, especially, yes, with everybody back. I love that one there. I went completely in left field to where you guys went. You guys went Bucks. I went completely the opposite direction. I got to go with the Badgers because this guy for the Badgers, Austin Rapp, I was super excited about him coming in. I was like, okay, they have an inside presence. They have a guy who can space the floor for him. He's going to be physical. I'm getting the opposite of that right now with Austin Rapp. And I got to see him start to get on the interior, start to be able to battle there a little bit on the boards. He's been too inconsistent so far for this team. Nolan Winter's been banging around with the best of them. Nick Boyd gets out of control at times. We talked about that earlier. He gets out of control at times. John Blackwell, those two don't know how to live together, right? Once they figure out how to live together, it's going to be crazy. But Austin Rapp, for me, has got to be a guy who's got to bring the tools, especially against a team like Northwestern. They're always feisty. They're always a team that gives the Badgers troubles. They like to play physical. And if Austin Rapp does not play up to the physical level that Northwestern does, I don't even know how much I want to see of him in that game because there's guys on that bench who I know can bring a little bit more of a presence down there, whereas he has been the opposite for me so far. So Austin Rapp has got to be my guy for who needs to bring the tools to an upcoming matchup there. So we got some Bucks talk to get to. I'm excited. These guys, I tell you what, you guys got to tune into their show. They have, well, technically, as we're talking, their show just happened. And then across live, so we out there, Whisper on Facebook. And I believe you guys are on YouTube, right? You guys are on YouTube across there and that podcast sites too.
Yeah, so we broadcast live Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock Central Time. We talk about the Packers. And then we have two guys that join us for that as well. And then on Wednesdays, we do starting at 4 o'clock. Might start a little bit earlier now that Jake and I are playing basketball on Wednesdays. But Wednesdays, 4 o'clock, we do Milwaukee Bucks, Milwaukee Brewers, and then Badgers basketball and football. And we have a Badger guy who joins us for our Badgers content as well.
Awesome. The Badger football talks probably weren't great this year, but they got better and then they got worse again. So it was
a roller coaster.
It's too up and down. I don't even want to get to that. I'm so sick of that. We talked about it earlier in the show. I'm so sick of talking about that. Let's talk about some Bucks because the Bucks are on the up, right? The Bucks are on the ups. Let's talk about what we saw because I'm sick of talking about the Giannis-less Bucks. I'm sick of talking about that. Let's talk about what we saw when he came back, when Kevin Porter came back. What are you guys' impressions as of late? So basically this last game out here against the Nets. I mean, what did you guys like in that matchup? You got your guys back. What do you like moving forward now?
Okay, so I'll go first. Kevin Porter Jr. brings so much to this Bucks roster that is understated and not noticed. Much like the Packers when they traded for Micah Parsons, there was just a level of confidence and swagger that was brought to the defense. And look at how they're playing as of late, especially and to start the season. Now Kevin Porter Jr. does the same thing for the Bucks, where he brings such a confidence with his shot. I mean, look, he made the first shot that he took. That was crazy. I was like, oh yeah, dude, we're so back. But he's a good athlete. He's able to get downhill. The Bucks needed another guy that can get to the basket because, even when Giannis was out, it was just Ryan Rollins really that was trying to get to the rim, and that's not enough. In today's NBA, you need to be able to shoot threes, which the Bucks do at an elite level. They have enough shooters. You need to be able to break down the defense with the dribble, which Kevin Porter definitely adds that layer to his game. So on top of being another ball handler, getting downhill, he's the alpha male next to Giannis. He's not afraid of the moment. Kevin Porter Jr. is a welcome sight for sore eyes, I will say.
Yeah, as far as good and bad impressions, for me, any bad impressions outside of obviously not having Giannis stem from two things. One would be the free throw disparity. In the month of November, the Bucks opponents had made more free throws than the Bucks even attempted in 13 of their 16 games. That's over 81%, and 8 out of 11 games that Giannis played in. So that's still 72.7%. So it's not just, a lack of Giannis that's leading to a free throw disparity for the Bucks. Then the other thing you talked about, don't want to be focusing too much on the Bucks without Giannis, and the Bucks obviously had a 7-game losing streak in November. The first one was a second of a back-to-back against the Lakers after the Bucks had an overtime win against Charlotte the night before, and then the second game was against the Cavaliers when the Bucks lost Giannis. That was the second of their 7-game losing streak, and then they lost 5 more games without him. It shouldn't really shock anybody that this team struggles without Giannis, because I believe that this is the most specifically built around Giannis roster that John Horst has ever assembled.
Yeah. No, I can completely see that one. I can completely see that one there. Let's talk. Okay, so let's just talk other guys on this roster right now, the way that they're kind of playing right now. Gary Harris, that's a guy I want to ask you guys about going into this one, because we haven't really seen a lot of him, and then as of late, he's kind of came on. I mean, what are your guys' impressions? What have you liked out of a guy like Gary Harris? Maybe some other guys off this bench that maybe you guys have liked as of late here.
Yeah, so for those of you that may not know, this guy was a top 10 pick back in 2014 out of Michigan State. I believe he was drafted to Denver. Is it Denver? Am I thinking that correctly? I know he went to Orlando after that, and he played about 15 minutes per game last year for Orlando. So Orlando let go of him because they needed more offense, because they were so defensive, oriented, that he got a lot of defense, thrown at him and a lot of defensive responsibility. So the Magic are getting rid of a guy that plays defense when they have a bunch of defenders and they want more offense, and the Bucks are looking for more defense. So this is just a perfect marriage where Gary Harris is a dog. He's been in the league for 12 years, and he brings a lot of good defense. He's also a very good athlete, and being a top 10 pick, you know how to score. He's had 6 years in his career where he has averaged double-digit points per game. So I'm not shocked that he knows how to score. He knows how to space. He knows how to play zone defense, which the Bucks should play more of. Credit to my buddy Tyler for pointing that out. But Gary Harris, he's a really good, really interesting piece for the Bucks. But it's on a roster where a bunch of guys are 6'4", 6'5". I mean, they need more guys that are 6'9". But I will say that Gary Harris has been very good in his role. I think he should stay around the 13-minute mark where he has been, because he's very efficient right there. His legs might get a little tired. He's had a lot of lower leg injuries, but Gary Harris has been good for the Bucks. I'd say solid.
I'm a little bit surprised by his impact. Honestly, when he was signed, I viewed him just as like shooting guard depth if we needed another shooter. I didn't, to Jake's credit, I didn't see him making as big of an impact defensively. And honestly, as a passer is another way that Gary Harris has made a good impact. And we'll have some film on our show as well of Gary Harris making some hustle plays and some stuff like that. So being kind of a pesky pest type backup guard, something that's become really prevalent in the Eastern Conference with guys like TJ McConnell and Peyton Pritchard, who just come off the bench and just annoy all your guards. Something that Gary Harris has done for the Bucks recently.
Right. And so I love that there. Let's talk about a guard for the Bucks in Cole Anthony. Right now, the way it started, I was like, oh, wow, the Bucks have really got a steal in him. You got Kevin Porter. When he comes back, you're going to have him. You're going to have Cole Anthony. You have Ryan Rollins. This is going to be a really, really good backcourt. And then Cole Anthony has kind of slipped as of late. Are you guys looking at it? Are you worried about Cole Anthony? Do you think he should get less minutes until he kind of figures it out? I mean, he can't really figure it out if you're not getting minutes at all. But where are you guys at with Cole Anthony? Now that Porter's back, Giannis can run the point, Ryan Rollins can run the point a little bit. Is Cole Anthony kind of slipping off where he's just, when you need him kind of guy?
So, Trag, I'm with you. The first couple of weeks, I was like, oh, man, this guy's going to be a third point guard, a guy who can score, get to the mid-range, stop on a dime, pull up. I do like his creativity still as a playmaker. He's been pretty good in that area, I think. Just sometimes with the silly turnovers, dribbling it off his own foot or a defender's foot, or again, to Tyler's credit, where he's jumping and having nowhere to go with the pass. We've seen that a bunch out of him and Rollins as well. But do I think that he needs to not play at all? No, I don't. I do like that Doc kept Rollins in there with Kevin Porter Jr. Having Cole Anthony, as a 3-man rotation just to spell them for a few minutes, that's fine. I kind of view Cole Anthony like a batter who's struggling at the plate, right? Because there's so many ups and downs with the season. some weeks you're not going to be seeing the ball well. Just like in basketball, you're not going to be shooting the ball well. So I don't think they brought him in as a scorer. I think they brought him in just to be an extra ball handler because, as you know, the Bucks struggle with ball handling, and Giannis got exhausted at times last season because he was handling the ball so much. So just having another guy that can handle the ball and give Giannis a break, give Rollins, give Kevin Porter Jr. a break from time to time, I think that's a good thing. But he needs to focus a little bit more on the shot creating and not the shot making, I think, is more his role on this team.
Okay.
So I looked at it kind of similar to you, Jake. I don't necessarily think we need to see like a significantly reduced role for him. I just think now with Kevin Porter Jr. back, he just needs to take a page out of Gary Harris's book and just play his role. I feel like when Kevin Porter Jr. was out and Rollins was starting and Rollins was doing a lot, that Cole Anthony also felt like he had to do more and was trying to do too much. And I think that's where some of the turnover aspects came in, some of the poor shooting nights, because we've seen him have some really efficient shooting nights. But I think he felt like at times where the half-court offense wasn't as efficient as it could be, and then felt like he needed to take some of that upon himself to score instead of like facilitating, like Jake said. I don't want to take him completely out of the rotation because I've brought this up a couple times on our show. Him and Bobby Portis have a really good pick and roll rapport. When those two are run the pick and roll, they're a pretty good pairing. So I do like to see Cole. He has a good change of pace. He's got a good mid-range. He can be a guy who collapses the defense by getting to the paint. So I don't want to see his role entirely gone. But I do think with Kevin Porter Jr. back now, he's just going to play a little bit less minutes. So I'd like to see him kind of thrive in his role like Gary Harris has done.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. Okay, I got one more. Yeah, not bad, but one more guy I want to talk about in the negative light, and then I got a guy I want to talk positive. So Miles Turner, you kind of mentioned him off the top there, Jake, but I have the offseason signing was like, yes, we have this front court is going to be dangerous for the Bucks. And I do agree, like on the defensive end, I've liked what I've seen out of Miles Turner. He's been fantastic. Everything is advertised. He was that upgrade over Brook Lopez that I was looking for defensively. Offensively, he's left a lot for me to desire. Now, you look over the years, the numbers have never been super great, but I thought him coming into Milwaukee, I thought maybe I'd see a little bit more, maybe an uptick of that three-point shooting, anything like that. I don't know. I just haven't seen the offensive output, I guess, that I was maybe expecting. Am I crazy to think that? Is it too much to think that the offensive output hasn't been there yet? I mean, where are you guys at, I guess, with Miles Turner? Is he doing enough? Where are you guys at?
I guess off the rip, I would say I would give it a little bit more time with Kevin Porter Jr. because this offense and this team was constructed to have Kevin Porter Jr. be the lead guard. And Kevin Porter's ability, like I said earlier, to get downhill and force the issue down low is really going to change a lot of things, especially for a guy like Miles Turner, who likes to sit up in that secondary break at the top of the 3-point line and just cash threes from there. Couple numbers for you that I looked into. So the Bucks with him off the floor are minus 3.1 points, and they're +1 with him on the floor. Now that includes the Giannis-less Bucks. So take that into consideration, I would say. The team shooting field goal percentage, they shoot 43% with him on the floor and 37% with him off the floor. So, I mean, a little bit uptick there. You also go to defensive rating and offensive rating. These are kind of nerd stats. Tyler and I really like to get into the numbers. We're very analytical with some of our coverage here. So our defensive rating with him on the floor is 113.8. That's actually pretty good when you look at the numbers. Our offensive rating with him on the floor is 115.2. So you're plus there. You go defensive rating with him off the floor, it goes to 116. So you're minus 3.2 right there. And your offensive rating with him off the floor is down to 110. So you're minus 5 points and plus 3 points on defense. So that's 8.4 swing right there. Just with Miles Turner, and he's third on the team.
Right.
Third on the team is actually AJ Green, which is actually insane. I was like, oh my God, AJ Green is so important to this team. But in my opinion, I think that Miles Turner is the second most important shooter on this team outside of AJ Green because he's going to be the one pulling the centers away, which it doesn't matter. They don't call fouls for Giannis anyways. But Giannis still has to go against 5 people every time he gets in the lane. But if Miles Turner could start knocking down those shots at a little bit more efficient rate, to your point, I think that could absolutely explode this offense.
So you mentioned him as a Brook Lopez replacement. Brook Lopez averaged, 11 points last year?
Right, yep.
And I'm not saying that Miles Turner should only be looked at as averaging 11 points because he's obviously getting paid much more than Brook Lopez is. But he's also not going to average 25, 5 and 5 like Chris Middleton just because he's the second best player on the team, to be honest.
Yep.
So I think that's part of an expectation shift that people need to have. And I think people need to look less at the box score and watch the games more closely and see his impact. Jake gave the analytical stats of the impact, exactly what it is. But for me, the biggest impact that Miles Turner has is that he makes it so the Bucks can switch 1 through 5 defensively. There's absolutely parts of the Nets game where Kevin Porter Jr., Ryan Rollins, AJ Green, Giannis, and Turner are on the floor together, and all 5 of them interchangeably guarded the Nets lineup. So that's a huge thing with him. And the Bucks can also play at a faster pace on both ends of the floor by having Miles Turner. Him coming over from Indiana, a team that all they wanted to do was run and run and run and run and run. Bringing him to the Bucks, who got significantly younger this offseason, he allows them to play at that faster pace. And I'm glad that Jake brought up AJ Green, because we talked about him on our show. We're going to have a bunch of clips with him and AJ Green. Those two are developing a really strong pairing together.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree. I guess it's just a desire for a little bit more out of the guy, just because I did expect when he came for Brook Lopez maybe to see that little bit of a jump, just because if you were bringing the younger guy, pairing him with Giannis, maybe it's going to allow him to get more open shots like you guys are saying, because Giannis is going to demand a lot more of the attention from him. So you have a guy like that. And I like that, pairing him up with AJ Green, 2 great shooters out there. And then Kevin Porter, like you said, coming back there, getting downhill, allowing him to get open shots there for kickouts. I mean, that is a huge thing too. So yeah, it's always something to be desired, right? And especially when you see a bigger contract, you have that desire to see a little bit more. He's doing a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that a lot of people aren't noticing. So I completely agree with you guys on that one there. So one last thing, if we just want to hit it real fast here, Kyle Kuzma, the development of Kyle Kuzma going into this year. I mean, just quick hit it on it. Somebody, if you got it for me, Kyle Kuzma, what have you liked out of him? Because I've loved what I've seen out of him this season and his development defensively, offensively, everywhere in between.
I'm going to call dibs on this because I've highlighted his role as the backup point guard. I've been calling him great value Giannis.
Yep.
Because when he comes in to replace Giannis on the floor, he's facilitating, he's helping as an extra ball handler, he's playing the drive and kick role. They're using him. Doc Rivers deserves credit for this, using him in a very similar way to the Bucks using Giannis, and it makes it so no matter who is on the floor, starter or role player, that you can play the same way, whether it's Kuzma or Giannis on the floor, and that makes things easier for the other 4 guys on the court.
Awesome. That's all I was looking for right there, is to hear everything, because Kyle Kuzma's been fantastic. The way that they're utilizing him now and everything like it, he's been great. So thank you guys. I got to run here. Thank you guys for hopping on tonight. Let the people know where to find you out there across social media.
Yeah, so we are Wisco Fanatics. Like we said, we're live on Tuesday evenings for the Packers, and then Wednesday afternoons for the Bucks, Badgers, and Brewers. Other than that, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube are the 3 main places you can find us. We are on Instagram, but Facebook and Twitter are definitely the places that we're the most active, and then our shows are always live on YouTube every week. So that's where you can find us.
Awesome. Thank you guys for stopping by here tonight. It was awesome. Hopefully you guys had a great time. And they'll be back, hopefully we'll have you back next week. We'll talk a little more Bucks.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. They'll be back next week. I did good enough in the first time, so we'll be back next week here. We'll be back here after the quick commercial break. We're going to wrap it up here for the day on the backside of the ad break. We'll be right back here on Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. I'm your host, Trage, as we come back here, as we wrap it up for the day here on this last little segment. And this segment is brought to you by Peggy Sue, a lifelong resident of Central Wisconsin. Peggy Sue with Century 21 Gold Key Realty knows the area and the market. Whether you're buying or selling residential or commercial, find Peggy Sue there at Century 21 Gold Key Realty. She'll help you get into a new home. Maybe you're trying to sell something. She'll help you get there. Peggy Sue at Century 21. So thank you guys for sticking with me tonight here. The voice has been getting worse and worse as the show goes on, it seems, and then it clears out and then it gets worse again. So thank you guys for sticking with me tonight here on the show. Make sure if you guys missed any portion of the show here tonight, or if you can, either way, make sure you follow across all the social medias on either it's Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trade, or any version of that. Make sure you follow us across all social media platforms. That'd be awesome. Check out the podcast. If you missed any portion of the show, check us out there across all podcast platforms. Just search Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trade. You can find it there. And then also, don't forget, coming up this Saturday, we'll be starting out our twofer for the week. We're going to have Wednesday nights and Saturdays at 10 o'clock in the morning. So make sure you guys are checking it out there. Saturday, we'll be back here. We're going to be talking a little bit more Badger hoops on Saturday there. We're going to talk some Packer football on Saturday. We have a whole slug of things to get into Saturday here on the show. So thank you all for tuning in tonight. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week until Saturday when we talk again here. But until we talk again on Saturday, see ya.